Hey guys, Randy here at etrailer.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Roadmaster Active Suspension System. This is a leaf spring upgrade that can very quickly and easily be added to your pickup truck. This is going to be for a 15 or newer Ford F150, but please use our fit guide, put in your year, put in your make, your model, your exact truck type, and maybe this isn't the perfect one for your truck, but we do have one that'll fit it. Basically, this is going to take our passive leaf spring, essentially. We've just got our leaf spring, our axle attaches in the middle, and it just waits for something to happen, and then it kind of reacts to it. This allows us to turn that basically into a mechanically active leaf spring. It kind of combines a lot of nice things into one area. When your truck is unloaded completely, it firms up the ride slightly. It makes it not rougher at all, but your truck just tends to respond and handle better than what it does without it. We've had these installed for about 5 years now on one of our programmers' vehicles, and just driving his truck around, there's a world of difference before and after. He hauls quite a bit with them too, and these also shine in that area. Once you start adding a load to them, that spring, it's going to get more and more pressure on it, so it actively responds to the load you're putting in your vehicle and helps to accommodate for it. These are fully adjustable. Once we've got them in there, we're going to come with a couple spacers here. The white one's half as thick as the black one is. And essentially what happens is, as you stretch that spring, you use this between the springs. Once that fits in there, you know you've got it adjusted to that. This one fits in there, you've got it adjusted to that, and that changes the percentage of preload that you're putting on that spring, essentially. So these are able to support up to 2,000 pounds. Now that doesn't add 2,000 pounds of payload to your truck. That's not what these are intended to do. These just make what you already haul in your truck a lot more stable. You don't get the body roll side to side near as much. These also help out a lot with traction. You've got a leaf spring, it's in a U. As your axle twists, you get what's called axle wrap. That essentially causes wheel hop, and you're going to lose traction that way. With these, you don't have to worry about it. It really helps to get all that power down the ground, get you accelerating. And also, of course, since we're adding that capacity, we're going to prevent the bottoming out when we hit things when we're loaded. We're not going to have to worry about those jounce bumpers coming down and making contact with anything. They are adjustable independently side to side, so if you've got an in-bed camper with a water tank on one side and you're just going to be driving it, a couple thousand miles or whatever, I would recommend adjusting them to get you leveled back out, especially on work trucks, like the big cargo kind of work trucks. If you've got a heavy load on one side, not so much on the other, you could put these on there, and you're really going to take a lot of the strain and a lot of the pressure off of your factory suspension. It's going to allow it to work within the limits that it should. Takes 1,000 pounds off each side, so it's not doing all that work. It's really going to extend the life of your suspension system. The best thing about this is the way they install it. It's super easy. It's very quick. You'll have them on, it's going to take you longer to take the tires off than it is to put these on, basically. Now, when you install these and adjust them, you want your axle to be hanging, so please keep that in mind. You don't want any load on that leaf spring at all. So take all the weight off of it when you're adjusting it. And essentially, this is just going to sit on the back side here on top of our leaf spring, and this is going to go into the bottom of it. So our leaf spring is going to sit in here just like this. Our axle would be near about where my hand is there. The other end goes around the end of our leaf spring pack. So it's just going to sit over the top, hooks in right there. And that's what causes it to be constantly active. We've constantly got this spring doing what it does to stay in this position. Once we've got it stretched out, it's holding that together. I really like it. You adjust it properly, and you can really fine-tune it for your application. So when you're completely unloaded, if you don't want anything, if you don't want that slight benefit that we get out of sharper handling and cornering, then you can set these to where they have zero effect. Once you get a load on, that's when they start to have effect. If you want to improve the performance and driving and handling characteristics of your truck slightly, because let's face it, they're not all that great, you can have them preset that way. to where you firm it up a little bit. You get that feel, and I tell you, it can be really nice. It was very surprising to me when we put these on. Now overall, it's got a very durable construction, heavy duty steel, nice quality, high quality yellow zinc coating on all of our bolts and everything, high grade hardware. Any of the black areas has a really nice black epoxy steel construction. Our programmer, like I said, he's had these on his truck for several years, and they still look good. Don't get me wrong. In the Midwest here, we got plenty of salt, corrosion, and stuff like that, and they are showing some rust here and there, but they're still doing their job, and they're still doing it really well. Now, completely maintenance-free situation here. Once you've got them adjusted to your liking, there's nothing you have to do, nothing you have to change. Another alternative to these would be a set of airbags. You could put airbags in your vehicle, and I would think that if you were constantly changing loads, if you had a different trailer every day of the week, I think the airbags might be the way to go, because you can adjust those a little easier just with air pressure. These install a lot easier than airbags, and we don't have to do any maintenance to them. We don't have to check the pressure to make sure we're maintaining the minimum, and we don't have to adjust them each time. So I think if you're just looking for performance increase handling wise, or some support on a constant load that you're going to have, I think these are really a nice way to go. With all the benefits they have, the ease of installation, and once they're in there, there's nothing else you have to do. Overall, I think it's a good pick. Again, though, I think I would go with an airbag setup or potentially a sumo spring setup if I was constantly changing loads. But keep in mind, just like a sumo spring, the more compression it has, the more work it does. That's the same thing we have here. The more compression this has, the more work it does. But for vehicle leveling, airbags are definitely a better way to go about it than this. Also, everything right here is made in the United States. They take a lot of care and pride in it. I've never come in or ran into one of these that we had any issues with. For the two-wheel drive F150, or for the two-wheel drive F150s, I'm sorry, you are going to have this bracket. This goes right on top of your current emergency brake cable if it's mechanical. If it's an electrical emergency brake, no harm, no foul, no issues. If it's not, you need to take the bolt out, place this on, and then put the bolt right back in. Basically, that makes sure that the bracket that mounts around that assembly, that you won't have any interference there and won't have any problems. So they really thought of everything. It's a great product. It lasts for a very long time. Working with customers, no complaints out of them. It does the job that they ask it to do. And having first-hand experience in driving vehicles before and after with these, they definitely make a big improvement.